Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending this discussion around the USA Today Job Network and placing ads here. This is our new solution. We just started this towards the end of last year, and we decided on the USA Today Job Network versus Career Builder because we felt like this added much more reach and more targeted advertising for our business partners. You in the in your departments and agencies who are looking to find more reach and more targeted reach for your job. So we're really excited about this program. We've already started, like I said, some of you have already probably had ads placed, online postings placed through the USA Today Job Network, and we're finding a lot of success as far as metrics around how many people view them and then click to the actual job on our career site. So I think it's a really good solution, and we're really excited today to have Matt Hoopengarner from USA Today Job Network, Gannett. He's our key account executive, and we've been working with Matt for quite a while now. He also handles our Burlington Free Press coordinated ads too. So I wanted to have Matt, and he was gracious enough to volunteer to make a presentation today because he is the expert on the USA Today Job Network and why it's a good thing. And so he's going to talk about that, and he's also going to talk about some other products that they have available there if hiring managers want to explore some other options too, in addition to the online posting. So with that said, and lastly, before I turn it over to Matt, there is a question box in the GoToMeeting toolbox, and it's usually pinned to the top right corner of your screen. So please do, if you have questions, please do ask them in there, and then when Matt is done with his presentation, I will kind of ask him those questions, time permitting. We may not go a whole hour, but we do have the hour to do the Q&A too. So do ask those questions, and I will make sure that Matt has a chance to see them. So with that said, I am going to turn it over to Matt now. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
I'm good, Bill. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Good. So I will turn it over to you and take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, just a tech check. I just want to make sure my screen's shown for you, Bill. Make sure we're not having any difficulties.
Nope, you're good.
Perfect. Well, as Bill said, he and I have worked together for a couple of years now, really navigating a lot of the changes that the industry has gone through. With those changes, our company has made it a big effort to make sure that the technology we bring to our clients, like Vermont, is going to be a leading edge, and not just a solution that's going to be good for us today, but also the technology of the future. So really, before I talk about what is going on today, I want to make sure that we go through, where we started. Just make sure we can navigate all the changes that have happened over the past few years, and really importantly, what has happened in the last six months to a year that has really changed how companies post jobs, and more importantly, how candidates are finding and applying for jobs today. So first up, to flash back to pre-1990, there are really two great ways to get out our word of our hiring needs. First and foremost, print. The free press, other publications across the company is where Gannett had a strong hold for getting that word out. Radio was also a great platform. Flash forward to the early 1990s, when the dial-up and the annoying sound started of access to the internet. That's really when we started seeing a massive market shift of print ads over to online. Next up, job boards. Flashback to, I believe it was 1998 during the Super Bowl, is when the first job ad for Monster ran. It was actually talking about, it was a kid's video talking about, I want to grow up, to be in middle management and so off. And that was really the first massive impact we saw where monetarily investments started switching from historical markets over to digital. Flash forward again to about 2004 during the birth of Indeed. Indeed really threw a wrench into the job industry as we know today. Not only did they start aggregating, and what I mean by that is they started pulling job postings from other job boards as well as other corporate websites and company websites all into a one-stop shop place, making it very easy not only for companies to post jobs, but more importantly, very easy for an applicant to find a job and quickly apply or send their information of interest to that company. Another thing they also changed was the investment side of it. They moved away from a standard cost per posting and moved to what we call a cost per click. So their strive was to make sure, how can we make sure that we're only paying for people that are looking at our ad? And those combinations of things have really started changing how job postings are functioning today. Which gets us to that exact point. Where are we today? So there have been a lot of changes in the job industry that we'll get to, further on in the presentation. But most importantly today is the single site destinations like Monster, like Career Builder, and all those other job boards are no longer providing the quality and quantity of postings and views and applications that we need to sustain, the current competitive climate that we're in today. So what we needed was a tool to make sure that we can put ourselves in front of the right candidates at the right time, regardless of where they're looking for a job. In all of our industry data, we know that the average job seeker today is using 16 to 17 different resources when looking for a job. From a time management perspective, it would take someone an entire day to source 16 different avenues to put your job posting on. And lastly, we want to make sure we're not just putting them on 16 job postings in what we consider a post and pray, but we're actually making sure that our algorithms and our artificial intelligence system is making sure that we are putting ourselves on the right job boards that have to do with your job description, your job title, and more important, your area. With all the vetting that we have done, we were partnered with Career Builder for over a decade. We actually spent a number of years looking for a new solution. So we went through all the ideas of buying Career Builder, partnering with Indeed, building our own solution, and ultimately we landed with partnering with a tech company that allowed us to have a programmatic distribution of job postings. And I want to make sure we understand, that word programmatic is somewhat of a new term for us. So there are many companies out there that advertise, hey, post a job with us, and it'll go to 100 different job boards. That is not a unique situation for our company and others. There are many places that consider themselves a one-stop shop for getting your job posting out to the masses. What we do differently is making sure that we can be targeted in our approach. There's no reason for a trucking job to be on a science website because that is not relevant to what we are doing. And more important, there are websites out there that are generating traffic and applications that honestly, we probably would never have thought of to put an application on. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, where our job posting is as long as it's generating results. So looking at, this infographic, really deciding how we can get the best of a job posting. So what we do, with the Gannett, we have our current network in place. Gannett manages and operates over 100 different properties and publications across the entire country. That partnership and network, paired with the existing tech partnerships we have with a number of companies, gives us the distribution tool to make sure that we can get in front of the right candidates at the right time. So this is just an example of what we do. So spreading our job from national sites like ZipRecruiter and Glassdoor, Snagajob, other big websites, but also partner with industry and local sites to make sure that we can get a presence on those local websites where candidates are looking. And lastly, one thing that we love to talk about is how we can match with the candidate. So what does this look like? So historically, on Career Builder and other job boards, whether the position was for a CEO or an administrative assistant, that posting would cost about the same. Exactly, honestly, it would be the exact same. That posting would be launched and it'd be up there for 1 month. But the downside of that is what happened on day 2 through day 30 of that posting, which was really nothing. It was staying there, relying on the marketing strategy of the job board to garnish as much quantitative traffic as possible. And hopefully, in a lot of the targeting that they have, the quality would be there as well. But in a climate like today, where really we have seen a massive shift of an employer-focused market to now a candidate-focused market. In today's job world, with unemployment being so low, and Vermont actually up on the top of the list for unemployment rate, which is great for the state, not so great for the employers, we need to make sure that we are doing everything we can so that when people are looking for a job, we have the presence in front of them. So looking at this animation, when you post on our network, our algorithm is going to optimize that posting. So that if there's any words that are missing in our posting or ways that people search for a job, we can make sure to have that backfilled so that if candidates are looking, we can have exposure. And from there, we get a projection of how many views it's going to take on this job to get the number of applications that we want. Through that projection, it's able to optimize in real time every second of the day where our posting is being visible. So I'll go back and play this infographic again, but as an example, let's say our posting is on ZipRecruiter for 7 days. Let's say it's for a management position, and it's actually getting pretty good response. We're getting quality views, leading to quality resumes and applications. But for some reason, let's say around day 8, ZipRecruiter is no longer providing us the traction and therefore applications that we need on the website. So our platform in real time will pull that posting and therefore the built-in investment we have on that platform to another website, therefore making sure that we can reach and surpass that projected number of views. This is happening dozens of times across multiple platforms, all in real time. So it's not taking any time out of your days, most importantly, so we can spend time on other things. I like to imagine this as being a day trader of job postings. So our postings are what we call total talent reach. They are for 30 days. They're up for 30 days on our newspaper websites. So in our case, it'd be the Burlington Free Press, but it also have exposure on all of our newspaper networks. I don't want you guys to be scared that we're going to get applications from all over the country because there's a geographic tag to all of our postings. So if someone happened to be in Florida and looking to move back home to Burlington and they're looking for jobs in Burlington, on our newspaper sites, our positions would have top visibility. On the contrary, if someone was in Florida looking for a job in Florida, our job would not have any relevancy, and therefore we would not get any resumes from that area, therefore wasting your time. Next up is our distribution tool, making sure that we have an intelligent distribution and not just a flat distribution tool that's going to launch the same websites for every single one of our different positions. We take a targeted approach and a transparent approach so that anytime we can go into our posting and see where our posting's at, where it has been, and where the views and applications are currently have come from. And lastly, again, we optimize these postings in real time. And when I say we, it is our superior algorithm and artificial intelligence that's doing that. One thing I love to say is, of all the perceived talent in this call right now, we have years, probably if not decades, of experience in the recruitment industry. But amongst all that intelligence, it is nothing compared to what a computer can analyze based on the historical data and the current trends of where candidates are looking to guarantee that we're going to have exposure to those candidates at the right place at the right time. There's simply not enough time in the day and not enough resources for any human to be able to determine where to post a job. Lastly, we actually have a couple boosts that are included with our postings. So in our transaction, we'll have to make sure to communicate with Bill if you want these positions, because we do have a limited number of them, but they are crucial to getting us results as well. First up, we have performance boost. Going back to the Indeed comment I made earlier about switching to a cost per click environment, many of the websites that we target have the same style format where for every click we have on one of our positions to open up the full job description and apply, it's costing cents or dollars. So we have a built-in budget in our postings to attack those types of websites. If we have a very challenging position that we know, based on the supply and demand of candidates, it's going to be a hard position to fill, I highly recommend looking at a performance boost. What this is a direct budget increase of that CPC budget. So that way our posting can be that much more aggressive in looking for the quality candidate by being in more places at the same time. So what this does is increase traffic, therefore increases exposure to quality candidates, and lastly, that leads to higher numbers of applications and giving you guys greater option to fill your position. Next up is Social Boost. Much like it sounds, when we add a social boost, we know that in today's world, it is a candidate environment, meaning that we know about 8 out of every 10 people is currently open to looking for a new position, but they're not actively looking for a job. They're happy. With the unemployment in Vermont, below 4%, we know that that's 95% of people that have a job, and not all of them are on job boards. So what Social Boost is going to do is make sure that we have exposure on Facebook, on Twitter, those major social media avenues where we know people are spending their time, looking at photos, connecting with friends, reading news. Having that passive target is an essential tool today that many companies are lacking, is making sure we have a top of mind awareness for our positions. So Social Boost is a way that we can get that piece of the puzzle. Lastly, I wanted to make sure we also talked about additional tools that we have currently not included in our contract, but absolutely can be sold on a transactional basis if it makes sense. So in this scenario, we have Email Boost and Resume Boost, very similar tools that are almost opposite of each other. What an Email Boost is going to do is when we post a job, we're looking to match candidates that match our job 70% or higher. What I mean by that is, in our posting, we can say, hey, you must have a bachelor's in education to fulfill this job. You also must have 3 to 5 years experience in an XYZ. With all the requirements in there, we are looking to match candidates to actually bring them to our door or bring our job postings directly to their email inbox, because email marketing has skyrocketed over the last 5 years with the rise of mobile usage. I know I've had a cell phone for way too long, and that cell phone is in my pocket all hours of the day, and at night, it is on my nightstand. I'm checking email, I'm connecting with friends, conducting business. So Email Boost is a great way we can get our job branded as the state of Vermont email to that candidate. That candidate can then read that email, can have that email look like it's being sent from the hiring manager. So it's not just going to come from some random email address. It's actually going to come from the state of Vermont and the individual we want it to come from. From there, the candidate can see our job and only our job and apply directly from that email. Now, Resume Boost. Using that same matching technology, we can actually start bringing resumes to our desk. So we understand that there are other networks out there that have very robust resume databases. Our network has resumes, Indeed has resumes, LinkedIn has resumes. We have a tool that can bring all those resources into one location to make it easier for us to find active resumes of people we know are qualified for position. From this platform, we can actually email those candidates directly saying, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, we found your resume. We would love to talk to you about this position. Additional resources that we have. So all we've talked about today so far are job postings. That active platform of how we can make sure we're reaching candidates that we know are looking for jobs today. I mentioned earlier, staying top of mind. There are reasons why companies through 2008 through 2011, that market crash that happened, came out successful. We see that most companies that continued advertising that they were a top employer of the area, here's why their culture, they might not have been hiring, but that top of mind awareness when the market did shift back immediately catapulted them to being extremely competitive and dominant in their areas. So imagine Coca-Cola. Every single one of us has probably had a Coke in our lifetime, but there's a reason why we're still seeing those ads. It's because they maintain top of mind awareness. So next time you have a thirst that needs quenched, you already have Coke in the back of your mind. The same is true in the employment world. We need to make sure that the state of Vermont and therefore the respective departments are top of mind, so that when someone who is currently employed has that itch of doubt that they might need a career move, or that there might be something else out there that is giving them a better work-life balance, providing a higher salary, getting them home, on a daily basis so they can make it home for dinner. That's what passive recruitment can do for us. So some of the avenues that we use, are a vast network of display advertising. What this looks like is making sure we can have a video presence on and targeted presence on YouTube. We know video spend has increased year over year, and it's quickly going to become a $20 billion industry by the end of 2020. This is single-handedly the largest growing revenue stream in all of digital advertising. So having a recruitment video that can speak to the challenges, and tribulations of your company culture, why people are working there and why they're staying there, is key to our success. Next up, looking at social media. Having targeted advertising on there, reaching out to the people that we know fit the bill of what we're looking for in candidates. Again, making sure we maintain that top of mind awareness in front of the people in our backyards. One of the best ways we can do that is a technology called geofencing. What geofencing does is use the Global Positioning Service, or GPS, to make sure we can specifically target an exact area. For example, I work with a lot of healthcare companies across the entire country. Many of them have a challenge right now contacting nurses and general healthcare positions just because of the lack of supply and demand of candidates. So what we're doing is we have to get smart and creative. We're able to actually target other nursing facilities with their employees. So as nurses or healthcare staff walk into that fence or into that building, we can track that IP address and send them passive ads to bring those eyes to our job postings or to our career site or wherever we want them to see. So this is a great way we can start targeting candidates where we don't know they're spending their time. So if I'm captured in a geofence on a Sunday and I want to go check out ESPN to find out the scores of my favorite sports team on Monday, because I might have been tracked, I could see an ad on ESPN talking about the culture and careers for some of the state of Vermont departments. Next up, and I already mentioned this before, recruitment video. It is very, very important not only to just have a video, even just to live on the career site, but that's not enough. We need to make sure that we're getting eyes on that video. It makes no sense to have a great car and a great vehicle if it's going to sit in your garage all day. So we need to make sure that we can expose this video and be intelligent about it. We can target videos so that when candidates are navigating across the internet, we can make sure our video has presence in front of the individuals that we target. One of the things I love to say is if you want to reach a 33-year-old pregnant redhead, in Montpelier, we have the ability to target that position. Now, obviously, we can take that in a recruitment sense, but we can be very intelligent and very smart and creative of how we start targeting passive candidates. Next up, social media. I know I have a social media page. I love following my friends, pictures, reading my news. Every once in a while, I get targeted all the time for jobs. This is a great environment that we need to make sure we have a presence on. If it was a country, it'd be one of the largest countries in the world, referring to Facebook. So the abilities of targeting on Facebook are almost unlimited. Given our professional certifications that we have, our partnerships with Facebook as well as Google give us a leg up on any of the competition of what we can do. Lastly, PPC, or pay-per-click advertising. We know in today's world, 73% of all job searches are starting on Google. What that means is people are no longer going directly to any one website. They're not going straight to Indeed. They're not going straight to CareerBuilder. They're using the website that they trust to shop for shoes, shop for recipes, find directions. They're using that same website to look for jobs. We can use Google to make sure we have exposure to those candidates as quickly as possible, to make sure we have an understanding of our entire application process so we can drive the most qualified traffic to our job postings as quickly and as efficiently as possible, thus leaving us with the qualified candidates that we need in order to make a quality hire. Through all these advertising avenues, Gannett and USA Today has a very unique position of being able to have access to all these different tools to make sure that we can customize and scale a solution to exactly what your company needs are. With that being said, we are very comfortable to have these conversations. These would be a separate conversation from our contract. So it would be an individual conversation between myself and your company where I'd want to talk and do a discovery, figure out what your challenges are, what your successes are, what you're using, what you'd like to be using. I'd be happy to schedule those calls as needed, and we can work with Bill to make sure that we're putting that in motion if needed. With that being said, I know Bill and I are going to open up to questions and answers because I covered a lot of material in this conversation, and I'd be very happy to answer any questions.
Good. Sorry about that. I had for some reason, I had some audio issues here, and I couldn't, nobody could hear me. So, so now I wanted to kind of thank you, Matt, for your presentation. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
And I want to actually open up the floor for questions if people had any. So again, I wanted to just emphasize that there's many products and many choices that Matt and Gannett and USA Today Job Network have over and above the postings that you would buy when you bought your coordinated ad in the free press. You don't need to place a print ad in the free press to utilize any of these products. So if you wanted to do a performance boost or a social boost online posting outside of a free press, print ad, you're welcome to do that. So. But if you do have any questions, Matt's here right now, and it's a good time. So I know he went through a lot of content. We did have one question that I can answer is, will we get a copy of the slideshow presentation afterwards? And yes, you will. We'll send this to all the participants, and we are also recording the the webinar too. So if you did miss it, you are able to get a copy of Matt's presentation. But I just wanted to kind of show some of the contact points internally here that we have. So if you are interested in any things that Matt spoke about today, the best first point is contact your talent acquisition specialist from the recruitment services team. So that would be, Denise Henrich or Derek Moffat, Denise Fuller, or Gail Rushford. And contact them first if you are interested, and they have a fairly decent knowledge about these things. And then any questions that they need to refer, they can refer to me. You can contact me directly too. That's my contact information, or through the DHR ad request email. And so, like Matt had mentioned, if you are interested in exploring any of the other things, certainly you can reach out to any of us, and we can help you and guide you in the right direction and connect you with Matt to have those conversations and discuss what your particular needs are. So we're not getting any other questions. I thought people would have a lot more, but the important part, I think there was a lot of information, Matt, you gave today, which was very comprehensive, which I think you covered a lot of areas and answered a lot of questions people might have had. But again, just please do understand that this is a new product here. It's a very valuable tool that we have to reach a lot more people in a more targeted fashion. So we're really excited about it and moving forward. So if there are no more questions or any more questions, again, if you have anything after we go offline, something comes to you, certainly email any of us that I put in that contact information, and we'll get it over to Matt, and he can either respond to you directly or we'll get the response to you. So Matt, thank you again. Great presentation. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to everybody. We can certainly keep the contact, lines of communication open.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so we do have a couple questions now coming up. So will the info be added to the DHR page to compare options? Yes. So really the only option that we have that's kind of included, well, not included, but when you purchase a print ad, is the USA Today Job Network. What I'll do is I'll expand a little bit about the differences between a social boost and a performance boost, because those are the two options we have right now. So I will take that. That's a great question. I appreciate that, and I will take that on as an action item to kind of explain the differences of what the current choices are. I'm not going to put all the options on there because some of them are extra, but certainly you can you can see what our current options are. And then the other question was, does the ad need to be on 30 days? And Matt, you can answer that. I think the system is automated, so when we make a posting, it's automated to close when the application deadline closes and the posting comes down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So our postings absolutely can be manually pulled. So right now we're actually scraping the entire state of Vermont job page. So we're actually pulling all the jobs, details, everything into our platform automatically. from there, I think Bill and I are going in and setting jobs live accordingly based on your needs. So yes, we can actually have the ability to pull those jobs. If our scrape comes back and you guys have pulled a job off of the Vermont website, our job will automatically be pulled as well. Therefore, we're not advertising a position that's not currently open.
Yeah, exactly. So perfect. So yep. So it does coordinate with that. And then another question about would that include the cost on our website? Yeah. So we do have the cost on. It's $155, which is actually per posting, and that's actually I think it's about $50 cheaper than the Career Builder postings, and this is much more. This gives you a lot more options and a lot better reach. It's not static like the Career Builder one. This one will, target as things go and measure the performance of those targeted areas where it's posting. So, so yes, the cost is already up there. It is $155 for the online posting. For the other products, we will get. That's more of a customized pricing thing, right, Matt? So you'll have to gather kind of the requirements of what people are looking for, and then we will give them a quote based on what they're looking for.
Yep. Absolutely. In the posting world, yes, we can have pretty fixed costs for anything additional. I'd be happy to talk to see, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. There's no need to spend money on resources if it doesn't make sense. And then lastly, the additional resources I discussed, every one of those is custom. So what we do is really make sure we take a look into what your need is and go from there. There's no cut and paste solution that we offer. Does that answer your question?
Yep, absolutely. Perfect. Okay, good. Well, I think I haven't seen any other questions come up, so I appreciate it again. I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you again, Matt. And again, if you have any more questions, please do reach out to us here in Recruitment Services, and we'll be happy to help you along with this. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Matt. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.